It was fun. It was a lot of fun. The experience playing in a band is you meet a lot of people. You get to learn to play a lot of songs, be it your own or covers of anybody else's. But it's fun. There's a camaraderie that I think that if you were like a professional athlete, you would see. Being with the same group of people for a long period of time, you become a band of brothers, so to speak. So it becomes very enjoyable, especially when you play together for a long time. You start to learn everybody's tendencies. You click as a unit, and you start playing some stuff. And you get done, you go, "Wow, did we really do that?" Because it was great. Like we hit it tonight. It worked.
Right before the era of Woodstock. Even though I was just...
I played in a band in high school. Well, I can't really say we were a band. It was 4 guys. It was 2 guitar players, me on bass, and a drummer. We had nobody that sang. We had nothing that we could sing through. There was no PA. There was no, and we played at the drummer's house, and it was actually pretty cool because the drummer, I remember that his father was like an immigrated from Italy and didn't speak a lick of English. But the man would come down the steps and hear us playing, and he just smiled. Like he just loved hearing the music. He loved seeing his grandson playing music. Interestingly enough, the drummer, John D. Tedorio, ended up getting into a semi-popular band called Brittany Fox, which was a pretty popular hair metal band of probably, I guess, 80s. So that was a band I played with in high school, but we really didn't do much. It was just 4 guys getting together, playing songs by the Cars and Van Halen, and like I said, we had no singer, nobody sang, so we just played for a while, and then we went our separate ways. When I was in college, I started playing with this band called Paradox. It was interesting because they did original music. And that's what got me interested in playing original music. So very spacey kind of Pink Floyd kind of stuff, a little bit kind of weird. But we also did covers. But that was fun because that was different. I'd never played original music before. It was the ability to play what you want, not what you hear on a record. So I could play it any way I wanted. There was no right way or wrong way. It was my way. And that was important. And to me it was important. And the one thing I learned there was a big deal about that was that the keyboard player, she was classically trained. She had played piano her whole life. She could play, you put sheet music down in front of her, she could play anything she wanted. But when it came time for her to do a solo, she couldn't do one because she was so used to being told what to play was written down in front of her. She never knew how to just express what she had in her heart. Could never do that. So it's an interesting perspective. So that band was a couple of years when I was at Penn State, and then that dissolved, and when I finally moved up to main campus, that's where I met the rest of the guys that became what would become the Voyeurs.
Mind over matter, it's a war over words. The idle chatter, sing with my chat, sing with my heart.
So we all met up at Penn State. The way we met was when I had moved up there. I lived next door. Actually, my roommate was a guy named Kirk, and his brother was a guitar player. And through Kirk, I met his brother Keith, who ended up being our guitar player. And Keith, I'm not sure if he knew the other guys, Bob on keyboards and vocals, and also another Bob on drums. So we had 2 Bobs. But somehow we all 4 of us met, got together, played together one night, just practiced in the guy's basement, and we liked it. It sounded good, and we were like, hey, let's make a band. So I'm not exactly sure what and how we evolved, but we played the bars up there. We played originals, we played covers, probably a mix of maybe 50-50 covers to originals. And as we started writing more and more originals, the covers slowly started getting wheedled away so that it was all originals. But we did that for a solid year of playing, whenever the bars would have us, and sometimes to 6 or 8 people. Sometimes we played festivals that Penn State had where there would be 5,000 people we played for it. So we did a lot of different gigs, and ironically, the ones I remember most are the ones where we played for 6 or 8 people, and not the ones where you play to 5,000 people. But that's just sometimes how it sticks with you.
We gotta try a little bit harder. We all gotta try love a little bit more. We gotta try a little bit more.
So after being up at Penn State for a year, Keith, the guitar player, had graduated, and so he actually had gotten a job in Philly as an engineer. So that's when we decided to move down here. I finished up my schooling at Temple. The other 2 guys had already been done school, so we came down here and played. And I lived at Temple. We started playing in the Philly circuit, and we did the Philly circuit for probably about 5 years. We had some good shows. We had some bad shows. We had some really good stuff. It just we seemed to bounce around a lot with like what our direction was, and I think that probably burned us a bit. As I mentioned, our keyboard player was kind of like the mad scientist, and he would get these great yet sometimes crazy ideas, and we'd run off on a different tangent that maybe we should have just stuck to one thing and did what we did best and stuck with it. We had some good gigs. We got on Star Search.
Our current champs are back tonight from Philadelphia, once again singing a song they wrote. Here's Social Voyeurs.
It was at the time seemed like a bit of a cheesy TV show, but they flew all of us out to California. They got us from the airport to a hotel, put us up in a nice hotel on Sunset Strip in Beverly Hills. They took us to and from the studio where they shot the show, and they they made us up, and they fed us, and it was a lot of fun. It was they treated you like rock stars, and it was really kind of cool, and it was fun. It was a blast, and it was still one very fond memory of being in a band. It was pretty cool.
We go. Welcome to 9 to 5. We're gonna break the style. Work 7 to 11 just to make ends meet. Night breaks in the city. Look at that pretty. Night breaks in the city.
Did I sing? Yes, I did sing. I sang harmonies, and I did sing lead on one song. It was called Not Quite Right. It was like my one lone contribution to the band. As a band, we were all credited for writing the songs. We wrote them all together. Generally, Bob, the singer, wrote the lyrics, but we would just sit down, and he'd either maybe play a chord and start singing some words, and we would just fall in and play. So it was very equal. There was nobody was coming to the table going, here's a song I wrote, do it this way, do it that way. We all just kind of got in and did what sounded right. You feel more a part of it. You feel more, you definitely feel like you're more of a part of the band, because when you're in a band where somebody comes and hands you the songs and says, here's what I wrote, here's the chords for you, have fun. You have a deeper stake when you feel like you're writing your piece for it. What we could have done differently, and this would really be more for the Voyeurs, was I think we thought that it was just a matter of time that somebody was going to sign us. I think the things we could have done that would have made a difference is we should have, again, played every gig all the time. Doesn't matter if there were 6 people, 8 people, 800 people, play all the time. I think we had the opportunity where that if we wanted, we all could have quit our jobs and got in a van and toured around the area, up and down the East Coast and played. We didn't want to do that, and I think that probably hurt us. We should have done it. We should have taken a chance, gone for it. Maybe we should have stayed in LA. Maybe we should have gone to New York, got into a little better place where maybe the music scene was a little more inviting to original bands. So that's the big thing. Played more, gone to different areas, been a little more serious. Because I think we had some really good stuff, but I think we were just kind of sitting around waiting for something to happen. And you know what? It doesn't work that way. You got to make it happen, or it's just not gonna jump in your lap.
right, thank you, Social Voyeurs. Okay, here is the judges' decision. Champion Social Voyeurs receives 2.5 stars. Their challengers, the Zippers, receive 2.5 stars. We have another tie in the vocal group category. The audience will decide that at the end of the show.